Hello and welcome to One More Music Pod, the show where in the end it actually does matter.
Today we're crawling through the highs, running through the lows, and diving numb into the tracks that shaped a generation.
If you've been waiting for the catalyst to bring you one step closer to the music of Linkin Park, don't faint, we've got Papercut sharp opinions and Somewhere I Belong level passion.
That's right, today we're breaking down the iconic debut album Hybrid Theory, the record that changed the game and made angst sound anthemic.
So shut the door, turn it up and get ready to break the habit.
Because we're one step closer to understanding why this album still slaps. Oh, use that twice? Hello and welcome to another episode of One More Music Pod. Hello Adam, it's nice to see you. How are you?
I'm great, Jack. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too. So this episode is all about one of my personal favourites. It's Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park. I can still remember when I first heard this.
Okay.
It came out in 2000, so I was sort of 11 or 12, I think, at the time. I remember being sat in the car. Don't remember where we were going. School, probably.
Yeah, it's always school, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think at that age, for me, I discovered music mainly through what was on the radio.
Yeah.
Radio 1 was the station I tended to listen to, and it was a lot of pop music then, so it was kind of sort of the back end of the boy band, girl band era.
Yeah.
So a lot of that sort of stuff around, and things like Britney Spears. I think maybe like garage had just sort of kind of come on the scene. There's a bit of Craig David and Daniel Bedingfield.
Yeah. Great time.
Yeah.
Great time.
Eminem, I think that hip hop had I think I got into Eminem around this sort of time too, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being in the car and Papercut came on the radio. I remember it was Joe Wiley that introduced it,
okay.
and she's like, well, "This is the new song from Linkin Park, Papercut," and it just sounded so different to anything I'd heard before. It was kind of like rock music, but it had those sort of electronic elements to it. A bit of hip hop in there as well. So Mike Shinoda rapping, the turntables.
Well, a little bit later on, we'll talk about the genre itself, and like you've just said, it was completely different. I've never heard anything like it before, and it was the start of not necessarily the start of nu metal, but it was nu metal in the mainstream, I guess.
It was definitely how I discovered it. And, this band and this album specifically went on to become one of my all-time favourites.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I guess when you're a little bit younger, you are discovering new music through what is on the radio, whereas today's generation, they've very much got access to music 24/7, all styles of music. But for us, it was about what is on the radio at that time. And I guess similar to me, really, Jack. It was about I was into pop music at the time. I didn't really know anything outside of pop music, I guess. And it was a friend I had who lived on the estate. He lived opposite me actually, and I'd go around there quite a lot, just to kind of play games, chill out, do all that usual stuff when you're 10, 11. And I remember he had a new CD that his mum bought him, and that new CD was Hybrid Theory, and we kind of sat down, listened to it, and I'm not sure about him, but it kind of really blew me away. Something, as you've mentioned, completely different, and really stood out as completely unique.
Brilliant. Well, I am very excited to get into this episode.
Let's get into it. So, Jack, as is tradition, every episode we try and find a link between our previous episode and today's episode. So, as listeners know, our previous episode was on Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie, and this week's episode is Linkin Park Hybrid Theory.
So there is a unique and direct link between David Bowie and Linkin Park. Linkin Park broke a Billboard chart record previously held by David Bowie in the immediate aftermath of the death of Linkin Park's lead singer Chester Bennington in 2017. Following Bowie's death in January 2016, he achieved a record 21 songs on the Billboard Hot Rock Songs chart. And then following the death of Chester Bennington on July 20th, 2017, Linkin Park surpassed this record by placing 23 songs on the same chart, with 7 songs in the top 10.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, bit of a morbid one this week.
It is a bit of a morbid one, but it's definitely a link.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's very tedious either. I think that's quite a good one, Jack.
Yeah. I can't take credit for it. It's our man in the field, Steve, who does this for us. So thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Steve, and well done.
Right, let's start this episode. Let's talk Linkin Park. Let's talk nu metal. What actually is this, Adam?
So I guess nu metal really started to take shape in the early 90s. It's very much this collision of heavy metal with hip-hop, alternative rock, funk and industrial. I guess with a bit of grunge and electronic music creeping in too. So it isn't just one sound, it's this mashup of everything that's kind of loud, rhythmic and rebellious.
And musically, it's got a very specific feel. It's down-tuned, groove-heavy guitar riffs with hip-hop rhythms. Turntable scratching away in the background. You get rapped verses, screamed choruses, both in the same song a lot of the times. Lyrically, very raw, very confessional sort of lyrics. A lot of angst, a lot of identity struggles, songs about feeling like you don't fit in, which is probably why lots of teenagers latched onto it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess if you talk about early pioneers, you have to mention Korn.
Yep.
You know, their self-titled debut in '94 really laid the groundwork for the genre. It sounded darker, more personal, more rhythm-driven than what metal had kind of been doing up to that point.
Yeah, and then bands like Deftones and Limp Bizkit came through as well. Each took it in slightly different directions. Yeah. Deftones, a bit more atmospheric, with Limp Bizkit leaning harder into the rap metal crossover. And suddenly it wasn't a niche thing anymore, it was everywhere.
And by the late 90s, nu metal is kind of fully in the mainstream. MTV were kind of playing these bands constantly. They had big budget music videos, massive followings. And festivals like Ozfest really kind of pat nu metals at the top of the bill. Have you heard of Ozfest before, Jack?
Yes, I have, yeah. We can explain it quickly. So, started in 1996, founded by Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne, originally as a way to showcase metal bands that weren't getting enough attention. But then by the late 90s and early 2000s, nu metal bands were dominating those lineups. It became the travelling summer showcase for heavy music in America.
And I guess we can talk a lot about the music, Jack, but I think we also have to mention video games here.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a huge kind of part of a lot of video games for us growing up, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, they come to mind. The soundtrack to that game introduced so many people to heavier music.
Yeah.
Actually, for me, it was the first time I heard Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, nice. The playability of it, there was no, you never got bored of it. You could just keep playing it.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. I often found myself just playing the game, but literally just skating around, not necessarily...
Not trying to achieve anything.
Yeah, just listen to the music.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, it's great.
Trying to do kickflips and
and ollies. For me, another game would be some of the wrestling games as well. So, in particular, WWF SmackDown. I love that game. And that era of kind of nu metal and wrestling were kind of very much intertwined together, weren't they? Yeah,
I remember the theme tune to the SmackDown TV show.
Yeah.
I don't know what the song was called, but it was a really heavy nu metal song, wasn't it? Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, so things like that, the games and the TV, they were doing just as much heavy lifting as MTV was.
Really good days and proper core memory stuff for me. So, Jack, I guess we need a bit of a roll call with who Linkin Park actually are. Who formed Linkin Park? Yeah,
let's have a look at that. So the band was first formed in 1996 in Agoura Hills, California, by 3 high school friends. They were Mike Shinoda, who did vocals, keyboards and rhythm guitar, Brad Delson on lead guitar, and Rob Burden on drums. Now, I've got a little question for you, Adam.
Ooh, okay.
True or false? The band originally called themselves Zero, spelt with an X.
I do know this.
Yeah.
True.
It is true, yeah. Yeah, so the early days of the band struggled to secure a record deal at first. They were sending out demo tapes to labels but kept getting rejected. Record execs felt that the band lacked an X factor, something that made them stand out from the crowd. Until...
Chester Bennington joins. So in 1999, they recruited Chester Bennington as lead vocalist after he auditioned via a demo tape. His powerful vocal style significantly shaped the band's sound. Then, after he joined, the band briefly renamed themselves Hybrid Theory, which is interesting, isn't it? Before they settled on Linkin Park, inspired by Linkin Park in Santa Monica, which Chester used to drive past on his way to rehearsals. They altered the spelling so they could secure the website domain. LinkinPark.com was already taken, although interestingly it's actually now available. So if the band were listening and wanted to take that domain, then it is free, guys.
A few facts about Linkin Park. It's now called Christine Emerson Reed Park, named after a former mayor of the area. Facilities include 2 basketball courts, 6 tennis courts with lights, public restrooms and free Wi-Fi. The park has 3 chess tables, but no pieces are provided, so if you do want to have a game, make sure you remember to bring your own pieces. And the park offers on-street metered parking only, so remember your spare change.
God, you're so boring sometimes. With the addition of Chester, the band had found their signature sound. There was instant chemistry between Bennington and Shinoda, and the band's songs suddenly had an emotional intensity and a dynamic contrast. The dual vocal identity of the band was born.
The band eventually signed with Warner Brothers Records and in early 2000 teamed up with producer Don Gilmore to begin work on what would become Hybrid Theory.
So Jack, the album, Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park. So, recorded between March and July 2000, recorded at the studio NRG in Los Angeles, and produced by Don Gilmore, who also produced the band's follow-up record, Meteora. He's also produced records for artists like Avril Lavigne, Good Charlotte, Bullet for My Valentine, and Duran Duran. Released on the 24th of October 2000.
The album cover, I think fair to say, very much of its time. It shows a stenciled graffiti image of a soldier, and he's got butterfly wings.
Yep.
I think that's kind of the hybrid idea, isn't it? It's kind of gritty and fragile, aggressive and melodic, kind of bringing those two together.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the initial design came from band member Mike Shinoda, who worked as a graphic designer before becoming a professional musician. Yeah.
I think it would have worked out for him if he stayed with the graphic design. Just say, Mike.
And yeah, interestingly, they wrote the N's backwards in the name.
Ooh, you're hard.
Linkin Park. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Linkin Park.
Yeah. So this album kicks off in explosive style with the songs Papercut and One Step Closer. 2 high energy songs that perfectly introduce the band and what their music is all about.
Papercut starts with that glitchy electronic pulse and tight staccato guitar riff. Kind of feels mechanical, anxious, almost nervous. The vocals come in, controlled, rhythmic, but quite uneasy. Lyrically, it dives straight into paranoia and intrusive thoughts. The lyrics, why does it feel like night today? Something in here's not right today.
It's like I'm paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. The chorus of Papercut is the emotional and psychological core of this song. Musically, it explodes out of the tense, controlled verses, the guitars open up, the drums hit harder, and the layered vocals create a wider, more urgent sound. It feels like the anxiety that was simmering in the verses has suddenly surged to the surface.
Lyrically, the chorus uses the image of something beneath my skin, a powerful metaphor for intrusive thoughts and persistent anxiety. It captures a sensation of discomfort that won't go away, something invisible but constantly present. The repetition reinforces the obsessive nature of these thoughts, as if the mind is stuck in a loop.
Emotionally, the chorus blends fear and intensity rather than pure anger. It doesn't feel aggressive in a confrontational way, it feels overwhelmed. That distinction is important. Where some of the band's heavier songs channel outward frustration, this chorus turns inward. It's about battling with your own mind. Something interesting that I found out while I was doing the research for this episode is an interview that Mike Shinoda gave to Kerrang in 2020, where he says he's not a fan of the music video for this song. He said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what we were doing," and he called the video goofy. Yeah, do you remember that video?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it?
Looking back,
such
now,
a great song, but the video is awful.
Yeah, it's sort of. So it shows the band in like this like luxurious looking living room, maybe hotel room.
Kind of room. Yeah.
And the sort of adjacent to them is like a much darker, twisted, shadowy room on the other side.
Yeah.
You got half the band chilling out on the sofa, and you got the turntablist Joe Harness at work on the decks, and then Mark and Chester are sort of performing and singing to the camera, aren't they?
Yeah.
Few kind of dubious hairstyles and fashion choices, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess thinking about it, the video isn't too bad, but it's maybe more how they're dressed.
Yeah,
it's awful.
The plaid trousers.
They
stand out.
Yeah, it's the hairstyles, it's the trousers, it's the vest.
Yeah.
Never been a fan of a vest.
No.
Yeah, I never trust a person that wears a vest.
So Mike Shinoda said in relation to it, "I remember Chester showing up in all plaid, and I was thinking, that's a very weird choice. It was the type of thing where you have to choose your battles, because at that point there was so much on the line. We were just breaking, and there were minor disagreements on things all the time. So I wasn't about to get into a conversation with him about the outfits when we were just trying to shoot a great video."
There's also mention of the special effects. He says the special effects are goofy. It's not a terrible video. I think we've made worse, but when I watch it now, I look like a fucking idiot, and I don't know what's going on. And then comes the song One Step Closer, and the tone shifts from internal anxiety to outward eruption.
Yeah, every time I listen to the guitar riff at the start of this song, I find myself doing this with my face.
Yeah, if I was to describe that to listeners, it's kind of Jack with a sense of kind of euphoria on his face.
Yeah, kind of sort of screwed my face up a bit. I'm just sort of nodding my head.
Yeah.
Like
he's on the planet.
Yeah, just in the moment.
I've seen that face before, but not whilst listening to music.
Anyway.
So where Papercut feels like thoughts crawling under your skin, One Step Closer feels like those thoughts are finally exploding. The guitars are heavier, the hook is louder, and the now iconic scream, "Shut up when I'm talking to you," turns frustration into confrontation. It's raw, direct, and aggressive.
Chester Bennington told Kerrang! Magazine in 2011 how the iconic lyrics of the song came together. He said, "When we were recording it, producer Don Gilmore was really drilling me and Mike Shinoda about lyrics, and it had gone to the point where we had rewritten some songs 30 times. I remember walking into the control room, handing Don the lyrics, and he grabbed them, passed them in front of his face without even looking, handed them back to me and told me to do it again. I lost my fucking mind, thinking, this guy's a fucking maniac. But that kind of inspired the lyrics. I cannot take this anymore. I'm saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. And the chorus, everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge. It all came from that frustration."
If Papercut is the anxiety building, One Step Closer is the breaking point. Together, these two tracks establish the blueprint of hybrid theory, emotional vulnerability fused with explosive energy. By the time those first two songs finish, the album's identity is clear. This is music about pressure inside your head, in your relationships, in your world, and what happens when that pressure finally bursts.
Okay, let's take a moment to talk about the iconic vocal style of Chester Bennington. It was a real hallmark of the Linkin Park sound, this ability to switch seamlessly between hauntingly soft melodies and explosive high-pitched screams, a bit like this.
Consuming, confusing, I felt this way before, so insecure.
But how did he do it? So, his vocal type and range. Bennington was a lyric tenor with a wide, roughly 3-octave range, typically cited from G2 to G5. Do you want to just sing as a G now, Adam?
G, G, G.
There it is. With notes often landing in the high tenor soprano range, which is actually quite high for a male vocalist.
Yeah, okay. And then you've got the controlled scream. Unlike many vocalists who use raw throat screaming, Chester was known for using pitched screams, essentially being able to hold a note while screaming, allowing him to maintain melodic control. These screams were often a combination of fry screams, a vocal technique that uses vocal fry, the low, creaky vibration of the vocal folds, as its base to create a harsh, screaming sound, and high-intensity belting designed to add texture rather than volume. Sounds like we're hairdressers now.
Yeah. I actually saw a tutorial on fry screaming. Easiest way to try it is if you do a stretch and exhale as you do it. So you kind of get like a...
Okay. Yeah.
That's essentially fry screaming. Yeah, because kind of your vocal cords are kind of closed and it's kind of forcing the air through and you get that kind of creaky sound. Yeah,
very good.
Yeah. I mean, there's more to it than that, obviously. You can't just go on stage and go...
yeah.
You know.
You get nowhere doing that.
Yeah, exactly. I've tried, yeah. Hyperglottal compression. Many analysts suggest that Chester utilised a high level of glottal compression, a controlled balance between airflow and air pressure, which allowed him to create a powerful, shouty tone, like we hear in the song One Step Closer, without necessarily destroying his vocal cords. A level of control that allows you to kind of do it over and over again.
Yeah, so you're not kind of straining your vocal
yeah.
cords. And then finally, that emotional intensity that we've kind of touched on before. So more than technical precision, Chester's technique was characterised by his raw emotionality. He often used vocal slides to add a dynamic touch to his performances.
He's what really made Linkin Park stand out to me. What made them so unique, and that sound and those, the way you could kind of sing a real sort of emotional kind of lyrics in a verse, but then suddenly burst into these aggressive, loud, throaty screams.
And kind of going back to him as a person, he wasn't the biggest person, was he? And I know during his early life he was bullied for being a little bit different, a bit skinny, a bit scrawny, but his voice was just incredible and very powerful on stage. So I think we should probably talk about In the End. So my question would be, Jack, does this song define nu metal? Maybe defining this album? I think it does.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that makes you want to scream, cry, nod your head all at the same time. Sharp, rhythmic, full of frustration. You give it your all, and somehow it still feels like it all falls apart.
Does sound a bit like your love life, Jack.
Adam, you promised you'd be nice.
Did I? Anyway, big shout out here to Mike Shinoda. The rapping he does on this track is something else. It's tight, it's precise, it's rhythmic, but it never overpowers the melodies or that incredible voice of Chester Bennington.
Yeah, I'd argue he's basically the band's secret weapon. Producer, songwriter, architect of the beats, samples, synth textures. He's everywhere in the sound. Yeah,
it's really impressive stuff, and I think this is why In the End is kind of one of the album's signature songs. It kind of connects listeners so deeply with the band.
And fun fact, even though it was the fourth single off the album, it became one of Linkin Park's biggest hits, peaking at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US.
And of course, we have to mention the music video. Directed by Nathan Karma Cox. Hell of a name.
That's a great name.
Yeah. It's pure early 2000s magic. The band performing on a crumbling, floating stone platform surrounded by surreal gothic landscapes, and it was very much heavily rotated on MTV at the time.
Yeah, I remember that one well.
So, I've got a bit of a quiz for you, Jack.
Okay, yeah.
I want you to tell me the 4 most played songs on MTV. So I can give you clues.
All right. Okay.
So number 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Nominated at the 1987 MTV Music Video Awards. It won 9 Video Music Awards.
No, I'm struggling. Can you give me? Is it a band or like a singer?
It's a singer. It's a male singer.
I did a fry screen. No.
The name of the song is a tool you might use to break things up. Heavy Materials.
MC Hammer.
No, that's a good shout. No. Do you want the answer?
Yeah, I'm not
It's Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer.
Ah, okay, yeah, right. Okay.
So that's at number 4. Number 3, now you should get this.
Yeah.
You should get this. 1.5 billion hits on YouTube.
Is this a more modern one?
Not really. But knowing you, Jack, just think
my sort of thing.
Your sort of thing, 100% your sort of thing.
Is it Britney Spears?
No.
No. Oh, is it like
grunge?
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Number 3, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Number 2, female artist. David Fincher directed this music video. He also directed Alien 3, which isn't the best Alien.
No, doesn't really help with this.
No, it doesn't.
Is it Madonna?
Yeah, it is Madonna.
Yeah.
Which song?
What year? Do we know?
No, I have no idea.
Material Girl.
Nope.
Vogue.
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing well. I'd be useless at this.
Yeah, we know the other one. It'll be Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
MTV's number 1 most played music video.
Oh, that's very
go.
interesting. Yeah.
We were going to do crawling, but
this is the point where we were going to talk about crawling, isn't it, Adam? But somebody didn't get around to doing the notes, did they?
No, we were out last night, Jack, weren't we? And I could have done this morning, but couldn't be asked.
It's a good song, though, isn't it?
It's all right.
Yeah, decent. Yeah. So the legacy of this album, over 30 million copies sold.
Yeah. It's the best-selling debut album of the 21st century, which is even more impressive when it was released in kind of prime Napster and LimeWire era.
Yeah, my copy was definitely one that someone burnt onto a CD for me. Yeah. 7.4 billion streams on Spotify as of February 2026, and the bonus edition of the album has a further 7.6 billion streams.
Wow, it's really impressive.
Yeah, big numbers.
The album won Best Hard Rock Performance for Crawling at the 44th Grammy Awards in 2002 and was nominated for Best Rock Album. The award actually went to U2's for All That You Can't Leave Behind.
Fair enough. So I think I've said already, I'm a massive fan of this album. I'd even say it sits within my top 5 all-time favourites.
Wow. Do you want to reel off the other 4?
Well, since you're asking, so in no particular order, I would say Hybrid Theory.
Yep.
I would say Nevermind by Nirvana. I would say Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not by the Arctic Monkeys.
Yep.
I would say American Idiot by Green Day.
Yep.
And I would say Enema of the State by Blink-182.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite a few of those in our back catalogue.
Yeah.
For listeners, if they want to go back into the archives.
Yeah, and a few that I'm sure we will do at some point in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What about you? What's your top 5?
I'll start with Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division, obviously.
Yeah.
Number 1. Can I give like live albums? Is that something I can chuck in there?
Yeah.
It's not a good take anyway.
It's our podcast.
Yeah, of course it is. Stop Making Sense, the Talking Heads live album.
Okay.
Strokes is a 6.
Oh yeah, good shout.
How much is that? That's 3. 2 more. Probably Whatever People Say, That's What I'm Not.
Yeah.
The Arctic Monkeys. Yeah. And the 5th one, would be. I'm going to forget stuff here, but I'm going to say. My mind's gone completely blank. Hold on, I will get this. You can edit this, Jack, so you can pause.
No, I'm going to leave it
It's just me desperately scrolling through Spotify. What have I been listening to? Okay, I'm going to say Bon Iver's first album, self-titled album.
Wow.
Yeah, go with that.
Carry on.
So yeah, I like Jack said, it's a fantastic album, and it's one that really takes me back to my youth. I wouldn't say I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. I guess I kind of stepped away from them after Meteora. But this is just my youth in a nutshell. This album, these long summer days hanging around the park with a couple of tinnies, passing kind of one set of headphones back and forth between mates, kind of soundtracking my youth with this album, and Parachutes by Coldplay. I used to listen to a lot of that back then, and Kid A by Radiohead, and I think it's something about that era that kind of felt albums felt to me quite immersive and really engaging. And for me, I don't know if you agree, Jack, but it's a shame like nu metal's kind of drifted away from the mainstream a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's all these sort of bands that are sort of coming, like Papa Roach, remember him?
Yeah, Alien Ant Farm.
Alien Ant Farm, yeah. Yeah, those two are good, weren't they? No, Limp Bizkit, I fan of them.
Yeah.
That new metal era. Yeah, there was some really good music that came from that. I think.
And Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park have stood the test of time, haven't they?
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit's still going.
Yeah, in fact, Linkin Park released that new album, didn't you, a couple of years ago with the new lineup. I quite enjoyed that. It for me, like I enjoyed, Meteora is a good album.
Yeah,
Minutes to Midnight was good. Yeah, even From Zero, the most recent one, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
None of them have ever really sort of stuck with me the way Hybrid Theory did.
Yeah. But I guess it kind of comes with the album comes with a lot of memories, doesn't it? And of being young and kind of being a bit kind of carefree, I guess. And albums don't really do that anymore because we're adults and got mortgages to pay.
But yeah, it's a brilliant album, and anyone who hasn't heard it, I think definitely worth give it a listen.
Yeah, stick it on, turn it up, go for a drive fast. Don't drive fast, stick to the speed limit.
But you can tell we might have been on the bit as well.
So Jack, that is it. That is Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park.
That's it. Another one in the can.
Ding. So, as always, please drop us a follow on One More Music Pod on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, we always love to hear from our listeners. Please email us at onemoremusicpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, so that's the end of this episode. What have we got coming up next time?
Well, all I can say, Jack, is the next episode is proper boss.
Ooh, little clue there.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's going to put a spring in our step.
Oh.
It's Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska.
Springsteen, isn't it? Yeah. Lovely. Okay, well, looking forward to that one then. In the meantime, all that's left to say is thank you very much for listening. My name's Jack.
I'm Adam.
And we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.